Who's next? You ready to do that? You want to go ahead and do the football crawl with me? I wanted to share with you that particular scene again. That's was included in the inspirational motivational video for the Power of Acceleration. But this is one of my favorite scenes. It comes from Feasting the Giants, and it's just the power of what we're talking about here on day 37, generosity. It is going all in all the time till you can give no more. And I think the way that we see this show up more often is through sports, right? Because we can physically see the toll and we can ache, right? When I'm watching that scene, I'm like, oh my gosh, how could he go one step further? I just am in awe of that, right? And so I think that sports, it's easier to show, but how do we show when we just go one step more and we're all in to that point that it's that same thing, but mentally, spiritually? And sometimes you probably feel exhausted and you gave it all you got. And that's the art of generosity, okay? And this really comes from a term that Boysen uses when he's talking about the things that matter most to him. And one of the 3 things that he shares is the power of generosity and going all in all the time. And those people who are just in it with you, and those who are half-hearted. And that's why my favorite Bible verse, my life Bible verse, is all about, and in everything she sought as God and worked wholeheartedly, and so he prospered, right? Worked wholeheartedly, all in. And of course, there's been times where I haven't given it all in, and you know what? The results have shown it. But there's other times where I've given all in, and the results have also shown it that way, and my heart's been totally broken. I mean, I shared the story about my different book proposals, but when it was the 3rd year entering, and every year I gave all in that I could, and this last year I was like, this is it. Either I was done. I mean, I just knew I didn't want to keep doing this. Either I was gonna hit a home run or just 3 strikes and I was out. So I gave it all in with not just doing 1 proposal, but 2 proposals. I hired an editor. I mean, I edited, I included everything I could from the content. I included 2 people. I mean, I just did everything possible. I was just all in, giving all that I had. And you know what? The results weren't what I wanted. And sometimes that's where it's difficult, but that's where we have to persevere and know that it just takes time and time and time again of doing the same thing. And that's whether you're performing out on the field, in your home, on stage, wherever it is. It's just this art of giving it all you got. And I think that's just the biggest thing I'm trying to instill in my boys is just, I know I've seen their effort be greater, and when they don't give their full effort and give that art of generosity to others, I think that's the part that just bothers me. I don't care if they win or lose, score or not. I just want to see that all in effort. And when I have, I've literally gotten goosebumps when I've seen it in their performance, and it's been exciting. So, I want you to think about different examples of just that wholeheartedness and with your goal. So, heart to heart, are you going all in? Have you been fully generous with your number 1 goal, giving it all you've got? And I gotta tell you, for me, with this sprint, which has been, as I'm making these videos for you in this whole class, is I've just been going all in. And you probably felt that more than other in certain videos, but I gotta tell you, each video, training video that I've done, I've gone all in. And sometimes all in is that it was so extremely difficult for me to find the time to even show up to do some of the videos, to have the time to complete it or whatever it was. And sometimes it's just, like you said, fully giving of yourself. So the question is, heart to heart, are you all in? I mean, we are so close to completion. Are you ready to do what it takes and just fully give it what you got here at the end? That is your one and done, to really, truly get honest and find that out. And then number 2 is, once you know the answer, is to give even more. So if you notice in the video there is just keep going, keep going. You know, he thought he was at the 50-yard line, but actually all the way to the end zone. So, and sometimes we need that push. We need someone else to push us to say, you can do more, you got it, go, go, go. Because by ourselves, oftentimes we don't push ourselves hard enough. And then the 3 is key, is to learn from a story. So Bo Eason talks about Jerry Rice. I'll just give a quick example of how he talked about Jerry Rice. But then I want to talk about a different football player and story about going all in that really inspired me. But one thing Bo Eason said when he actually got to play with the 49ers, and Jerry Rice is still probably considered one of the best all-time receivers to have ever played the game. And he said it was the first time in 20 years for Bo Eason when he showed up for practice that there was a player there earlier than him, and it was Jerry Rice, the best player. And, you know, he kept saying, you know, why is it not some of these other amateur players that aren't showing up early? It's us that keep showing up early. And he said, even during practice time, when everybody else is just warming up, Jerry Rice would take that ball, he would throw it, and he would just go all in. And he said, every time that this ball and my hands touch the ball, I'm all into the end zone. And repetition, and what actually happens is you are rewiring your brain to believe that and think that. So every time you do something, we are making these neural connections within us, and it matters. It's powerful. And so the story that I want to share with you, there's actually a link, or there's the trailer below so that you can see the trailer if you haven't seen the movie yet. The All-American about Freddie Steinbach is totally inspiring to me, about a football player who, you know, gave all in from a young age, from grades to there, and he just, from attitude to work ethic. I mean, it was just inspiring that, and then being able to be, again, not having the body necessarily made for a football player, but to have accomplished what he accomplished. And I don't want to give the story away, because even when times were difficult and maybe the direction wasn't going what he was in that way, he continued to give it all in. And what was also inspiring for me is that it wasn't just on the field, it was also off the field. He went to daily mass. He gave full out on his studies. And that's the thing, when you do it in one area of your life, you do it in all areas of your life. So this #1 goal, as we're learning to give it all we've got and be all in, it won't just impact your results here, but in all aspects of your life. So let's be generous and let's just do it. From my heart to yours, be love.